When looking at hybrid instruments, it's important to realize you're getting the best of both worlds, or so marketing would have you believe. Today we look at the Yamaha N3X, the premier AvantGrand hybrid instrument from Yamaha, a beautiful baby grand shape with a full acoustic action and a 15 speaker array. Let's check it out.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support and we love to interact with you.
Every time we had one of these things in the store, they were sold and passing through.
Well, it's interesting. This is the N3X. It was originally released in 2016, replacing the N3. So the AvantGrand series has been something from Yamaha for over 15 years. It's been around for a long time, and it's them tackling the best digital piano that they can make with hybrid technology. And so when you look at digital instruments, we often talk about when time catches up with the instrument, does the instrument get left behind?
Does it sound and feel and look dated?
Yeah, and so we're looking at, this is what, 2022. So this instrument is 6 years old,
Right.
officially. It's been no spec updates. There's been some firmware updates, but what has come and gone when they put this in?
6 years?
And so you look at the N3X and you get an incredible Yamaha action. That's the first thing. So and since they've released the N3X, they've released the N1X. And they've been able to put in, a better action into the lower modeled hybrid instruments that Yamaha has released. But this was the first one where they were like, okay, this is our flagship model. Let's get the best action, the X.
They promoted and pushed this one a lot when it first came out.
And it's beautiful.
And I was excited about it.
You look at the soundboard and the inside. It's a beautiful looking, baby grand piano for all intents and purposes of that word. But you just look at it now, you play it, and it has the CFX sample, but it doesn't have the newest one. It has the binaural sample that they're very proud of, but they themselves have said they've redone it since. The Bosendorfer sample, this is one of the first times they had the Bosendorfer sample available.
Right.
And it's the 290 Imperial Grand, but this is not the binaural sample that you can get now on some of the entry-level clavinovas that have this binaural Bosendorfer sample. So the N3X, poses the question: is it worth it?
Well, if you can find them used, they're there's a lot of great deals used on the internet, and if you get the chance to play the thing and everything works, it's a great instrument.
It's great, and it's fantastic.
And it still delivers what its original purpose was, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. The original purpose and design behind this piano was to take, at that time, what was a $180,000 concert grand piano and get it down into an affordable budget of a like simulated replacement of around $20,000. That was the original goal, kind of targeted, so that they could sell this to premier music schools that were not necessarily premier keyboard music schools. So their main instruments may have been like solo instruments, could have been woodwinds or violins, or especially chorale and choir type music for opera singers and stuff. So they always have a perfectly tuned piano that a pianist isn't going to complain about because it plays and sounds like a concert grand. And that was the whole idea, to give it to them at a fraction of a cost, and they could still have a good quality instrument in their practice room, recital room, or performance hall. Because it was a piano that was designed, and with all the engineering and the testing that they did to find out where does most of the sound come from off the soundboard, and where should we place speakers if we're going to redesign digitally a concert grand piano. How do we do it? Okay, we're going to have this is the area where most of the sound comes from.
They did a lot of research on speaker placement. And it's 15 speakers?
There's 15 speakers, and there's, I think, 4 different amplifiers. The largest one is 80 watts, and it's split in half. And that means that you're getting essentially a left and a right bass section. And the next one is like 35, and then they do 45 and 20. The total's 185 watts. And you realize, split that up in left and right sounds between high and lows. They have it busted out into 4 different kind of categories. And that's how they accommodate it through 15 speakers. And it's really kind of fascinating when you
And it
sit
makes
down
the whole
and play
thing
it.
start to move like a grand piano would.
Right.
And you get the, they even in their marketing, they put transducers in the places where it's going to make it feel like the keys are moving, like your pedals moving,
Right,
like
yeah,
the instrument
underneath.
is really alive instead of just being a simulation of their, CFX.
Sound only doesn't work. The vibration is key integral to everything music. I mean, it really is, because when you feel that vibrations, whether it's a guitar string or a piano key, I mean, that puts you right in touch with what you're hearing. It's the same frequency.
And what's always funny to me is Yamaha, who has access to every sound they want to put into an instrument, and they do in a lot, like the $100 keyboards, the $500, the $1,000, the $1,500. They put a lot of instruments in there, and sometimes you spend more, you get more instruments and all that stuff. You get to their top of their line digital instrument, there's 10 sounds, and so it really kind of shows you this isn't that. This isn't like the throw everything in,
Nope.
see what people use. This is meticulously thought out. We're going to put our CFX sample in there. We're going to put our Bosendorfer sample in there. We'll maybe put an organ in there. We'll put an electric piano in there, strings in there. But really, it's not about that. It's about the piano first.
This
and
is
only.
also the piano I think the Eagles are still touring with. I think they're using an N3. I'm sure by now they have the next model.
Well, what's funny is when we get contacted by the touring bands coming through San Antonio, hey, we need an instrument. They'll ask for some sort of hybrid like an N3X, or they'll ask for like a silent system that is like the the C3 with the silent system, so that they can plug in and they can run the sample instead of the piano.
Right.
And so it is one of those things where it's so convenient to have the plugs, the left and right channel,
and a great sample in it.
and a great action. So you feel like you're playing the real thing, and you're getting a full CFX sample right there. And still one of the reasons why this is a very sought after instrument.
I still look at this instrument as an upgrade and an improvement to the GT7. And now that was 25 or 28-year-old technology. And that thing sold relatively
We did a
quickly.
video on that,
And
too.
we did a video on it.
That's it. Yeah, that was the full Baby Grand. So this is a reduced size Baby Grand. They cut down the sizing so you're not getting a full 5-foot. But that GT7A was a full Baby Grand.
But did that seem like old school technology to you? Other than a disc clavier, I mean, you had to put a disc in it. But it still operated.
It still sounded
worked.
great.
But did it look dated or antiquated? Not really. This thing doesn't. I mean, it still looks pretty. It's still an attractive looking instrument.
It is, and so it's one of those things that digital life the shelf life has expanded.
It's going on much, much longer than the original models were.
And Yamaha hasn't updated it yet. It's still it's still the N3X, the one that they released new. It's still the
And
one
it's
from
still a joy to
2016.
play. It's really fun to play.
Let's take a listen to it here. Me and Ted are going to play the CFX sound and the Bosendorfer sound. We'll come back and we'll talk about a couple more features of the N3X.
Well, Patrick, I only played the one sample that was on there, and I didn't even check. They said, sit down and play, and I sat down and played. But you played both the grand.
You were on the second voice, I was on the first voice.
Okay, so I had what, the Bosendorfer sound. Okay.
And so, I mean, the thing feels like a piano when you're playing it, and which is a lot of fun. It's kind of tricks your brain because you're in it's a small little cabinet and you're playing this giant sound. And so we had the volume turned down about 50%. You know, when you crank it up to about 75%, you're really getting a lot of that sound system. And it's kind of messes with your brain because you're like, this is all coming out of this one thing.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I love that it's a digital piano and you can practice and put headphones on and play it. But yes, it can outperform by volume a 9-foot concert grand piano. Almost all digital pianos can. And
what's cool is churches love this.
But
any place with a stage, whether it's a theater hall that needs, or a choir hall, or a stage for acting and musicals, or whatever it is.
And along with it, it's got XLR jacks, which is great, that extra ground, so you don't get open loop from fluorescent and old lightings from old venues and electricity and stuff.
It's just a great grand piano alternative where it's lighter. A couple people can pick it up and move it. It's not super light, but
it's unique looking enough to where it is attractive, and everyone will notice that piano's a little different.
And the wood finishing on the inside, that kind of mahogany dark wood, it's really kind of captivating to look at. And you're like, wait, what a second, this is digital, because it has the speakers. It has these beautiful state-of-the-art speaker system in there. Looks very modern, and just a cool instrument. We've sold a bunch of these. People love them. They enjoy them. It is, again, 6 years old, which is an interesting thing to think about.
It is.
It doesn't have Bluetooth. It doesn't have some of the wireless capability that everyone's used to coming out with, anything nowadays. But tried and true piano action, tried and true piano sample on the CFX. Beautiful cabinet design. Yamaha, which is they're famous for having something that's going to last a long time.
But the only thing wrong with it is that it's not a true acoustic piano.
And so if you've played an N3X, if you've owned any of the N series, maybe an NU1X, the N1X, the N2, if you've owned any of them, please leave comments about your experience owning them. I know owners usually just fawn over the technology. They've loved it. It's been, as close to an acoustic piano as a lot of people want, or that sometimes they have one of these in their office. I know this one's a little bit bigger footprint, but sometimes people have the NU1X in their office. But leave comments, let people know your experience owning it. This is a really cool instrument. I wouldn't be surprised to see Yamaha do an update on it soon.
I'm kind of expecting them for them to come out with the next new line of whatever is up.
Yeah, they've redone the Clavinova about twice since they've released this, and so it's probably in the works. So the N3X, still an incredible instrument, part of the hybrid, the AvantGrand line from Yamaha. Make sure you're subscribed. We will be comparing it against Kawai's premium flagship, the NV10S, which is a new release for 2022. Their grand piano action, a little bit smaller instrument, not as full in depth.
Different design attack or view, I guess. They went about the whole thing a little bit different.
Yeah, so we'll look at both of those, comparing them. We're excited to bring you that and kind of listen to the premium piano from Kawai, the premium piano from Yamaha, and we'll just compare them back and forth. Thank you guys for watching. Again, please make sure you subscribe so you can check out our newer videos, and we can bring you great content.